Hey everybody, I hope you had a wonderful Easter and welcome to 5 Seconds of Spring. We're going to pick up today with the Easter story, which is right. Jesus has been crucified, he's been buried, he's been put into the tomb, and where we're going to pick up, we're going to be studying Luke 24. We're going to study the whole chapter. Today, we're going to look at Luke 24, 1 through 8. But we pick up right where the Marys are going to look for Jesus. And clearly they think he's still dead because they're taking spices to the tomb. And I think it's kind of ironic, it's kind of funny, maybe stereotypical that it's the women that go to look for Jesus. I don't know about your house, but at my house, the guys, they're terrible lookers. I can tell them very specifically where something is, like very specifically. And then they come back and they say, we can't find it. And then I go in and I'm like, guys, it's right there. And so the women go and they are looking for Jesus. So we're going to pick up Luke 24, verse 1 through 8 is where we're going to be today. And so in verse 1 it says, on the first day of the week, very early in the morning, the women took the spices they had prepared and went to the tomb. They found the stone rolled away from the tomb, but when they entered, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were wondering about this, suddenly 2 men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. In their fright, the women bowed down with their faces to the ground, but the men said to them, why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He is risen. And I love, if you did 5 Seconds of Summer last year, I love exclamation points. And they probably could have used 2 here, or maybe like 3 and like a big, praise hand emoji, because they're like, he's not here. He's risen. Why are you looking for him here? Is what they're saying. But the women, and I think, they're just kind of sitting in a situation where they're confused, there's grief, there's hurt, there's all of this stuff, and so they're like, I don't know. And so then the men say, remember how he told you while he was with you in Galilee? The Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men, be crucified, and on the 3rd day be raised again. So he was going, remember? Or they were going, remember these men to the Marys. They're like, it wasn't even that long ago that he told you that. But they had forgotten. But then I love verse 8. I think it's so tender because it said, then they remembered his words. It was like they just needed to be reminded. They just needed somebody to say, hey, God promised you this. And God always fulfills his promises. And as I read that, I started thinking, how many of us have forgotten his promises? How many of us need to be reminded? How many of us need to remember God is going to do what he said he's going to do for us? He knows, he holds us in the palm of his hand. But sometimes I think we get in the middle of circumstances that are bad or disappointing or discouraging or awful or full of grief or whatever they are. And we need to be reminded. We need the gardeners to go, do you not remember? And so that's really the encouragement I think for today, is for us to remember what Christ has done for us. In fact, many years ago, I got this rock. I think I want to never forget what Christ has done for me. And I have a rock that I wrote the words remember on, and it was about a specific thing really, but I wrote remember. And I put it right next to my kitchen sink every single day. I see that rock that says remember. And I think we do. I think it's good to be reminded of the promises that God has for us. He knows our situations. He cares about our situations. He loves us so much, and his promises in the Bible are for us. They're not just for these Marys or for his followers back then, but they're for us today. And that is great news for us. We'll start with verse 9 tomorrow. See y'all then. Bye-bye.